Hello and welcome again. This is episode 4, and this next episode of the Living Off the Grid in the City.
I've been keeping myself so busy,
I would like today to cover disadvantages of supporting the current energy system as it stands. In the last shows I have covered various reasons not to support the current system, to make a switch, to make an effort, to make a stand against the current system, because it is highly inefficient, it is harmful for health, harmful for cultures, other societies, other countries. It causes conflict, it causes environmental upheaval, environmental damage. This show I would like to begin to wrap it up, as I said, and also by doing that cover 2 main points with the disadvantage of using this system, and they deal with efficiency for the one part, and 2, decentralization of power production, specifically electric power production. They go hand in hand, the 2 topics. One, because decentralization of power production, in my view, will bring about a dramatic increase in efficiency, energy efficiency. And decentralization will take care of a repertoire of different problems, such as greed and corruption that exists within the system right now. Like I said, efficiency will be dramatically improved. Independence issues, which bring about abuse, neglect, and the whole array of other issues, including health and environment, will begin to be sorted out with the widespread use of decentralized power production. First, I'd like to begin with decentralization of power. I believe I vaguely defined the term in an earlier show, but it is basically taking away power production, electric power production task from a central position or monopolistic entity or organization, taking that task away from a large, all-encompassing company, which are for the most part for-profit, and giving it to the people, giving it to each household for their own production, their own use. Why is this important? In addition to all of the reasons I have already given, I believe this is important because by decentralizing power production, you become more and more efficient over time. The industry overall becomes more and more efficient by default. This is inherent in the system, to my belief. Just like the computer industry benefited vastly from the widespread of the technology, the transformation from mega centers of computing, which in the past were located mainly in universities. When this technology was transferred to the masses via the personal computer, for example, it created what we now know as the information age, which brought about the internet as we know, the millions of applications, the millions of software programs that have helped basically a revolution in our technology, the speed of our technology, learning, etc. It has been dramatic and more or less incomprehensible, the change that was brought about by the decentralization of computing. Likewise, I believe that decentralizing power, giving people the task and the power to produce their own electric energy, would bring about changes in efficiency, changes in all other kinds of areas, from innovation in the many sub-industries of energy, just like wind, solar, geothermal, biomass, and other still undiscovered technologies. I believe such transformation as to decentralizing the power to produce energy would bring about many, many changes. Like I said, very notably, very importantly, changes in innovation. Innovation would fold perhaps hundreds of times. Why? Because you don't have just separate labs here and there as they now exist, testing new technologies, testing equipment, testing efficiencies. You would have the millions of homes that take power production into their hands. Each one of those homes would basically become, by default, a lab, test bed for all kinds of energy producing technologies. This would bring about a neck break speed increase in energy producing technologies and their innovation. This would speed up the rate of advancement in that area, in the energy producing area. It would be basically, we cannot even begin to comprehend how much faster the industry would improve. That reason alone, standing by itself, is enough to instigate anyone that cares at all about human advancement, is enough to instigate a change and to begin to try to decentralize power production. That benefit alone is just huge and so important that it would be hard to believe someone would be against the outcome of such change. Well, with the exception of those that benefit from the current system, which are few and far between. People involved in the power industry, in the power companies, power generation, in the traditional sense as it stands right now. But other than that, everyone else would be on board if they only knew of the advantages that decentralizing power would bring about. Decentralizing power would mean educating, training, giving people tools to produce their own power. Right now, they do not have it. Right now, even information about producing their own power is taboo, is looked at as risky, looked at as highly expensive, highly inconvenient, and it's, in my eyes, very attacked. Like I said before, the industry, many industry representatives are paid on a regular manner to thwart any efforts to bring about change in the energy industry and to misinform about alternative energy technologies and prop up their own technologies, their own old, outdated, problem-causing technologies. Another huge advantage of decentralizing power would be that such change would bring about not only innovation and advancing the technology, but also advance rapid. I'm talking increased dramatically speed in the efficiency of the technology, of the many technologies that would spring up. Like I said, every home would be a test bed for new technology. Thus, their owners would continuously look for ways to improve it. Even if they come up with new technologies or old technologies, doesn't matter. It is in the interest of the user, the owner, to improve on its efficiency. Why? Because if they improve on their efficiency, the less costly it is, which helps out their bottom line, helps themselves out. This is natural. This is a self-regulated, self-balancing system to where you're given the tools, you use the tools, and you look for ways and are given the tools to look for ways to improve it as you yourself benefit from the product of your technology. So, for example, if someone has a battery system in their home and they depend on that battery system because that's basically all they have. Let's imagine for a moment there is no traditional power company. You are on your own and generating your own power. In my eyes, battery technology today would be light years from where it is right now. But if someone had, let's say, as the current technology stands with batteries, someone had a battery system in their home, it would be in their interest to improve the performance of such a system. How would they go about improving such a system? Well, people would be given the tools. That would be one way. They would be given the tools to attempt to improve the system. Education is one. Technologies to be able to attempt an improvement in the technology. Another. Incentives, such as patents, without all the costs that patents and inventions bring nowadays, such as governmental or community programs for inventions and technologies to help those out, move along, to help them out with the cost where required. And another thing would be a public awareness of the importance of improving technologies. This would improve or make a lot more people interested in improving their technologies, not only to help themselves but to help other people, which is a huge reason for people to cause change. Not only to help themselves but to help others, the satisfaction that comes with it, and the reward that comes with it, because you might be able to, in the current system, for example, sell your technology for other people that are interested as well in improving their own power production system. See, when you have people owning and operating and producing their own power, they attempt to improve it. As it stands today, the only people interested in improving any kind of technology are the people that work directly for the power company, which are also worried about the bottom line and profitability. Change and research and development is expensive, is slow moving, because there's not that much of a incentive for the power company to change. It is expensive for a large, sluggish, and rusty corporation that has been sitting in place for decades and generations. It is hard for that corporation to want to cause dramatic change, rapid advancement, because it is against their motto, it is against their interests, it is against the structure where they operate. They operate under an economic for-profit structure, and being so large and so sluggish, it is basically, and at the core, very inconvenient and highly prohibitive to cause rapid change, rapid improvements, because there would be a lot of loss in their older technologies that they feel they need to get their profits from or their investment back from. So change is very slow moving in the current system. Decentralization of power production, it is also important because, guess what? Everyone doesn't depend on one company, which is very logical, and a logical structure. It's a pyramid scheme that if the stone at the top of the pyramid crumbles, the rest of the pyramid crumble, just to put it figuratively. At the top would be the power company, and everyone else is at the bottom, depending on the power company. The power company was to, for some reason, fail, which is not an impossibility. I mean, look at the meltdown in 2008. It affected the car manufacturing giants. If it affected to the point of almost going bankrupt, many of them, what makes you think it would not affect a power company at a time of worse? To get back to my point about economic downturn and power companies going bankrupt, I mean, it is not an impossibility. Many think it's unlikely. I disagree with it, but it is absolutely not an impossibility for a power company which operates with funds to dry up to the point of not being able to operate. And what happens then? Everyone's out of power? Perhaps. No funds means no maintenance. No maintenance means power lines, transformers blow up, power lines go down, generators don't get serviced, power goes out. Then what? Nobody's able to generate their own power. Everybody cannot, and there is not a supply ready for people to just go out to the store and get themselves a generator. And if everyone cranked up a generator at such time of an economic downturn which shuts down a power plant, imagine what that would do to your neighborhood. It would become a airport, basically, with aircraft running 24/7. That's how it would sound. That's how loud it probably would get if everyone had a gas-operated generator running all at once in your neighborhood.